as with almost every shipment that you send out of the country, we have to have a commercial invoice, a packing list. Sometimes we have to have additional documentation, or your clients may request additional documentation. For Brazil, we have to have originals. It's just a customs requirement. They aren't trying to be difficult. They just want originals. As Chad mentioned, DDP is absolutely not allowed in Brazil, and it is because of tax reasons. So if you agree to do a delivery or a door delivery with your client, the most you can do is a DAP. That's as far as you're going to get to go. As Kim is showing you the slide, you can see the most preferable is what she's highlighted in red with CIF. That benefits both the seller and the buyer. Each side gets to control a little bit of the transportation process. Again, DDP is not going to happen. So if you have a client that is insisting on DDP, you need to back up just a little bit and ask them, you know, who is advising them that that can be done, or why they are so insistent on doing it, because Brazilian law prohibits it. There are information that needs to be on the commercial invoice, and the documents have to be consistent all the way through. So you have to have the shipper and the consignee be the same on both packing list, commercial invoice. Your Incoterms have to be clearly stated on your commercial invoice. We always also recommend that you take out cargo insurance, and it's for your own best interest as well as your customer's best interest. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and that is some additional benefits. Just as you would have car insurance, you have health insurance, this is no different. You need cargo insurance. A client that doesn't want cargo insurance, that's fine, but you can still take it out if you so wish. A client may ask you for what we call a certificate of origin. We can issue those on your behalf without any additional fuss or difficulties. Bills of lading are important because that's the transport document that moves it from your facility down to the customer's facility. Kim, can we go to bill of lading slide, please? There we go. There are some additional requirements on the bill of lading, and the NCM number may seem a little unfamiliar or kind of questioning, why do I need this? The NCM number counters or matches our harmonized tariff number or Schedule B number. And maybe what is or isn't known is that the first 6 digits of the harmonized tariff are universal throughout the world. So it doesn't matter where you're shipping in the world, those first 6 digits are going to be the same. The last 4 in the US are for statistical purposes. As far as Brazil is concerned, they only want the first 4 digits. That should be the same in their country as it is in our country. They may ask you to show a 4-digit that's within the same chapter, but the last 2 digits may be slightly different. That is acceptable. It's based on how they're going to classify it once it comes into their country. This is not an option. This is not, if you feel like it, it has to be on that bill of lading, or else you're going to have problems getting it cleared through Brazilian customs. So, and next slide, Kim. Thank you. The bills of lading, both the master and the house bill, have to be original, and they will have to be rated. It is a Brazilian requirement. The original master bill of lading can be issued at destination, and that is a very common practice. The bills of lading, like the commercial invoice and other documents, are signed in blue ink. And the reason it's blue ink is so that they can tell it is actually an original. If it's in black ink, it's too easy to consider it a forgery. One of the last additional pieces of information that needs to go on the bill of lading is the ISPM 15 requirement. Some of you may or may not be familiar with that. That is in reference to wood packing material. Brazil signed on to that program just like the U.S. did several years ago. Brazil signed on just a couple of years ago. That relates to wood coming in is considered to be pest-free, and we all know that there are some unwanted bugs sometimes that end up in wood that, if it isn't treated properly, can do damage to the ecological environment for the destination countries. That simply is just whether or not you have wood packing, if it's been treated and certified, if it's processed or it's not treated and not certified. We can figure that out, or we ask those questions, and that information can be passed to us either through a shipper's letter of instruction or through an actual certificate from the company that provided the wood packing material. And if your customer has any other documentation requirements, just let us know, and we can, see if we can assist with it, or, find out, specifically what they're looking for. Additional documents, sometimes they're certificates of origin, or they actually want a certificate of insurance. Next slide, Kim. Again, we talked about that the bills of lading have to be rated. We cannot show as agreed. It's just not going to be accepted. If anyone is concerned that, well, I don't want my client seeing, the rated bill, we are very, very careful with our partners, and that information is very confidential. It's only what is only needed to be passed along is passed along. So we try to make sure that everything matches from a freight standpoint to what's on the commercial invoice. Next slide, Kim.